Clive Greenwood. Basically, I was actually the overall site manager or tour manager, as it was known in those days. Like any tour, you do get to meet people and the like at different stages. Normally we are so busy that we don't get to meet them really personally. You know, over the years I've met different people, but he came across as the most amazingly well-balanced and sincere person. That's how I felt about it. You know, there's different people who basically become what we call stars, and will act like stars and prima donnas, whereas there are people in the industry who basically are your guy next door, but happen to have a hit single and end up going to number one, and you should think be stars. But in case of David's situation, no, very, very down to earth. Yeah, great. You'd expect somebody to be of that standing in rock and roll to be very, very aloof. But I think no, he would chat away to different people. I think part of it is though when they came to New Zealand at that stage, it was pretty near the end of the tour, from memory. So I mean, at that stage when you've been travelling with people for 6 months of the year, you do become like a family. Very, very much so, like a family. So it's hard to say, you know, is somebody aloof or otherwise, but no, he was just part of one big family that brought an amazing show. I mean, I think the people that have seen that show will remember how great it was. After being welcomed onto the Marae, and I remember seeing it on TV as well, you know, the smile on David's face was ginormous. And like later on, back at the hotel, you know, people were talking about it, because I mean you got to realise these people travel the world and they don't get shown that type of respect, even though they're stars. And they realised how much a honour it was for David to be given that.
After everything was over, you know, we feed them in the old wharekai. We call it the eating place. It's still there now, and so that we could get closer to him, we were the waitresses, so that we could be close to David Bowie.
When I was serving him, and I had some meat on my plate, and I says, which would you like? And he says, which would you recommend? And I said, this piece. He went, well, I'll have that piece. And then I bugged him for his autograph and a photo and another autograph for somebody else, and then the guy that was taking care of his security guard says, excuse me, can you stop doing that to him? So I had to move on.
He enjoyed our food. Whatever we presented, put there, he ate and enjoyed it. So that's what we expect, you know, when we call the manuhiri or visitors come. Whatever we give them, we expect them to at least have a taste. If it's something unusual to them, like kai moana or seafood. But there was a lot of salads and things like that also. So he enjoyed it. He must have.
I'll tell you one thing I remember the most is the feast. And I remember the feast, we were told that this was prepared by the Maoris, and they were going to serve us. So I looked, and there was a large, long table. And all through the table, about every 3 feet or whatever, 2 feet, they would put a Maori dish, homemade Maori dish in there, and we would all just eat it right there. So I remember that it was a very long table, 60, 70, 80 feet long, this table, one table.
The night that he was here, we had one of our own Kiwi singers here who was Dalvanius Prime, and he was standing next to me, and he thought it was fantastic that we were able to have him here. He just came as a visitor. He'd heard about it.
Oh, my favourite song was Rebel Rebel and Changes, and I know all the words, still know all the words.
Favourite song was The Man Who Sold the World with Lulu.
Space Odyssey was at the time too, still is.
I'm perhaps going to show my age here, but I've always liked Space Odyssey, but I must admit, when I have a PA going at an outdoor gig station to station, because you can revolve the bottom end quite heavily and listen to the bins and everything else vibrating.
When I hear his Space Odyssey on the radio, it reminds me of when I was nursing and when we met him down here. And I know when he came here, he signed the paper plates that weren't used for the kiddies with his autograph on them.
Yeah, I remember meeting David Bowie at the front of the marae and having a photo with him, and it was a really good photo, really light and bright, and you know, I still have that photo, and I do remember the day he came. It was really bright and happy and exciting. I knew who he was, and was fortunate to have a photo with him.
I'm not sure whether he had any attachment to Māori before he came to our marae, but he sure got it all when he got here. But he was presented also with a taonga. I think it was a bone taonga. So he got that, and I don't know whether... He did wear it one time at the concert when he left, that he performed somewhere. I'm not sure whether it was Auckland or overseas, but we could see that he had our taonga on. So he must have loved us. It was a beautiful sunny day, which made the occasion good.
David Bowie fits at the top of the list of visiting our marae.
It was meant to be 2 hours, but I think it ended up by being 4 hours. And we enjoyed having him here with us.
I remember the lady that came with him. Her name was Coco. She was really lovely.
Yeah, he is handsome. He's still handsome. He can come home any time.
Oh, it was a huge deal. I mean, I was a great fan of his.
He smiled through his entire visit, you know, he absolutely loved it. Something new, something different.
David Bowie will always be special to us.